You're on.
Welcome again to our weekly NexLev webcast. My name is Jason Trach. I'm sitting in to host on behalf of Darren, who is actually going to be in and out on this conference because he's on a beach in Hawaii. So that's the power of this virtual world. I'm sure we'll get to him in a moment so he can show us some nice beach pictures. So thank you again for attending, and as always, if ever you have any questions, contact us at the NexLev website. If ever you have any questions whatsoever, you can contact Brenda or go to our website, and we'll be doing this weekly. So today we are going to continue our theme of informal and casual and collaborative feedback, where we have a little bit of fun and a lot of learnings, and the value comes a lot from our guest speakers and also our audience, the questions and the interaction that we have. So one of our themes today that we're going to cover is a bit on multiculturalism. It's a focus on when we're managing projects around the world, we are so interconnected and the world is very small. So this is happening more and more often. So what are some pros and cons? What are some challenges? What are some opportunities to improve? So we're going to get some live feedback from one of our international guests here. His name is Bruno. I'm going to introduce him in a sec. And he's done some business work. He's entrepreneurial. He's got academic background, formally educated, and of course he's also married to a brilliant. Nope, I don't think married. I'll let him talk about his brilliant other half also, who also brings a whole nother aspect of international, basically international relationships, because that's what the world of project management is becoming more and more about, is building relationships and networks and collaborating, and that's our philosophy. So before I get into that, I just want to take a look at our attendees here, and maybe if everyone wants to give about a 30-second max of about 30 seconds to say just your name, where you're from, your area of expertise, or your area that you have a passion about, and that just gives a feel of kind of our audience as to who's partaking. So what if I started on the right there? Looks like Brenda.
Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the webcast today. I'm the office manager here, and it's pretty quiet right now, so project management is a little easier, but I'm delving into new areas of advertising on the web and looking for agents and even some sales, so it's exciting, fun times. Thanks.
Thanks, Brenda. Okay, next we have, can't see any picture and the mic is on, Lai. Oh, maybe she's on a mute. So let's.
Oh, yeah, me?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Laís. I'm Bruno's fiance. Sorry that I can't turn it on my webcam. I'm at work right now. But I'm really happy with the invitation to join the webcast today. I'm a master's student at University of São Paulo in Brazil, and right now I'm doing an internship, exchange internship with the University of Saskatchewan, and my area of research is educational systems, specific on gamification. So yeah, thanks for the invitation.
Wonderful, wonderful. Lays. So gamification, now that is incredibly exciting. That as a profession is bringing in a whole nother world on how can we add some fun into this world of work. Because if you look at old legacy corporations, they almost want to outlaw the word fun. So thank you for joining, and it's really inspiring to know of your profession and advancing in that. How about the next gentleman, Dr. Chen? Give a quick little intro, please.
Software developer institute. I usually do project management in terms of requirement gathering and then check and see if we actually fulfill those requirements.
Perfect. You know what? And that's where Dr. Chen is a man of few words, because he gets right to the point in terms of his project management. It's amazing on delivery. He can see things from a very structured focus, and that, I guess, is your PhD in math. And also, he's an engineer, electrical engineer. So thank you, Jackson. Okay, next up is we've got Carlos.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos Guzman. I work on the Ecolibra side, and I involve always on projects. So I know a little bit about projects, but still want to learn a lot more, and that's why I'm here.
Wonderful. Okay, Carlos, master's in engineering and definitely an expert in water management and sustainable solutions. So we lost Darren. He's off in and out because of his beach access, but let's go right into introducing. I'd like to introduce Bruno. The little bit that I'm going to do is not justice, so that's why I want Bruno to introduce yourself too, please. So Bruno comes from Brazil, and we've got to know him a little bit over the last few months, and we look forward to continue to get to know him and work on more projects. And essentially, while he's living in Brazil, it's all going to be virtual, and that's the world we live in. Is how do we bring together different cultures and different perspectives? And that's what we're so interested to work with people like Bruno. So Bruno, how about a little bit more background on yourself, what you do back in Brazil, and a bit of your passions and areas of expertise?
All right. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you again, and I'm very, very happy to stay here and have this opportunity to show a little about me. I'm from Brazil, specifically of the city São Carlos City. It's a technology city there. It's in São Paulo state. It's São Paulo province, you call here. And my background, I'm a student. I was a student in the computer science, and now I'm open my own company, and this company is I am 4 years from here. I'm working very hard on these 4 years to keep everything going well. And after this time, I make a new partner with another company. It's not a relation in my area, but a fitness area. And I'm coming in Brazil with this company. One is in IT area. I work with everything in relation with internet. We develop all the brand, all the marketing, all the software the company needs to be on the internet. And that's the new world now. The internet's sometimes I joke that the real world is the internet, and the other one they call it real life. I don't know, but I spend a lot of time in the computer. My passion is everything in relation with computer. I really like to make the world better, to show the information, to share new information, and work together with people, especially for the different countries. That's very unbelievable, because it's so easy now. If you back 10 years, it's not able to happen. And now I'm from Brazil, you from Canada, another friend from China. We can talk together in the real time and share information, share problems, and it's very, very nice to have. My point of view is I have some problems to make this happen, because we are for different countries, have different cultures, and we need to use some skill for make this happen. And today we have Skype, Google+, Dropbox, and all these tools can help us to work together. And this is very nice to have.
Wonderful, wonderful, Bruno. Well, and thank you for that. And this is where it is so great to see, because we will probably get much more of a content of Canadian attendees on the webcast, but we really want to grow this to an international presence. And part of what you're saying is, because you're a little more advanced in terms of embracing the collaborative tools like the Skypes. And I was just talking the other day to someone who was trying to call me and I was saying, why don't we do a Skype? And they're like, no, that's a bit too complicated to set up Skype. And there's still a lot of people out there. So this is where thank you for your sharing and in your passion. So getting down to a couple questions, and that's where, again, this is something where it's very informal. We want to just open up conversations, so anyone else on the audience, please join in. And of course, anyone watching the webcast that's not interactive, hopefully next time contact us, and then you can be interactive, and you can take part fully in this webcast. And that's the whole point, is to collaborate, to brainstorm. This is nothing that we're saying we have to prepare for weeks in advance. It's we've got a couple canned questions, like we'll start off with Bruno. Is what do you see some challenges that exist when you manage projects or do work or starting to do business between your country and Canada? So these are things that what are some obstacles, barriers, challenges, or just some minor tough things? Or
Oh yeah. Well, it's very, very hard for you to start to talk about this, because the first point is our culture is different. What do you understand if I do this for you?
That's A-okay.
That's okay for the Canadian. For my company, for my country, for everyone in Brazil, that's an offensive jest. It's not good for you doing Brazil this thing. It's not okay in Brazil. It's mean another thing. And just this little expression show how different it is in all the country. If you do this in Brazil, it means zero. It's not mean okay. It means zero. And that's show the difference we have between the country. We need to know first the culture. We need to know each other first. Can we start to make a business, or can make something together? We need to know what the people are expecting, what the people understand for a simple gest like this. It's a thing to make a totally different. If you say to a Canadian, oh, that's very nice, that's okay. But if you do the Brazilian, they're gonna be very, very offensive with this expression. And that's start to show what do we have the difference between the country. Let's say one different example for we have between Canada and Brazil. Here, if we make agreement and say the project needs to be ready to 10 days. In 10 days, the Canadian is going to finish the project and everything is going to be very perfect on 10 days. If you say in Brazil 10 days, it's not a big deal. It can be 12, can be 15, can be 20. Because the Brazilian, they accept a late project. They understand this a different way than Canadian. And it's totally different in German. They are much more restrictive with time. If you say 10 days, it's real 10 days and the time count too. And that's some different you need to understand first. I understand this. We can have a partner. We can work together in special using a virtual world to help everything improve. But you need to be very careful. You need to be very patient to have this happen, because they are different. They work different. The way how they enjoy, the way how they work hard is totally different. And the first point is we need to have a leader project to make this happen. The leader project needs to be very nice man to understand that this is different, to understand the problem each country have, to can fix all this variable to say now we're gonna work together and like a team. And this is not easy. This is not something you can do very fast. But if you have a very good quality of your speech, of your communication, your ability skill is high, you can hold this and you can make a very nice job in special, because we have different people for different world, for different point of view. If you ask it to me what I think about the world, it's totally different what you think about the world. And when you have two minds working together, thinking different point of view, the result is very nice, it's very good, but you need to be careful for don't lose the target and don't cross the line.
Okay, that is right there, and I just want to interrupt once in a while to emphasize a couple points, because that is so first of all, it's amazing how you break it down to just simplify things. And that's what we need to continue to do as a PM. And in the PM world I love that example. I'm gonna copy that example. It's like, A-OK, everything's great. Whereas, no, this is zero. Zero is not that good. So, and this is...
Don't do this for the Brazilian. That's not good.
So here's where the sensitivity, because we have a tough enough time. I work on projects all the time in Canada, and we have the same culture, we have the same language, and we still miscommunicate. So now, how the heck are we going to now all of a sudden try to work with another people? So what I'm hearing right away, you're hitting a couple things is, first of all, awareness and sensitivity, and that is going to tie directly into a leader of the project. So someone who has good speech and communication skills. I want to draw that. I was just reading an article quoted Gandhi as why was he so leadership is his ability to communicate and have speech is one of the most, and is, they say, is the most powerful aspect of any person in a leadership role. And you hit right bang on there. So I want to highlight that, is because part of our webcasts are bring together the value. So what I'm hearing too is wonderful, Bruno. So please continue on. So the speech and the communication skills is one tool, let's actually even call it a tool, to help us manage the risks of miscommunication. Because they're really...
Can I add one thing more for
yes, please.
Project leader to make? He's a very nice guy. You need to have some example. You need to have people to bring other people for your side. I saw one article there explained between the different project leader we have in the world, and they said have some project leader, they just say do this, do that, that's the best way. He ever say do this, and that's not the best way. You need to show by your example what is the best thing to do, and he needs to be someone to bring the people for your side. When when the people think you are amazing, when the people look to you and say, oh, this guy is an example, they're gonna follow you, they're gonna understand you, and they're gonna listen you. And for you be a project leader, for you work like a people to can do the stuff working, do the stuff fixed, you need first bring the people for your side. And this is not easy task to do. It's very hard because each people is different. Let's say a project leader do this for the Brazilian, it's not going to be nice. He needs to understand the people. The first thing, he can be very good in his area, but he needs to understand what is the difference for you talk with Jason, what the difference for talk with Taylor, and the difference to talk with Carlos. It's totally different when you bring these people. For they can talk together, for them can work together, and the communication presential, it's hard, but when you go in a virtual world, it's more hard because you have a little delay, you have some, you don't see eyes by eyes, you know, like every time I'm looking for you, but I'm looking for a screen, and for you fix this information, you need to be very careful.
Okay, good. I just took a few more notes there too. It is really, as a leader, action is stronger than words, because it's the ability to show by example. That is one of the easiest ways to bring people together, and I hear you on that, Bruno. I think that's another exemplary trait of a good PM. How do you show by example? And that's going to be very different, like you're saying, on the different projects, because if you have a very technical focused project, or a very internet-based project, or a process-oriented, your audience and your stakeholders are going to be different, so your leadership style should be different. So that's another key thing that I think I'm hearing is adapt your leadership style to make sure that you can bring the people together, because like you said, if we're doing something over the web, let's be real, there are going to be challenges. So if you've got people that are very impatient and have no web experience, they're going to be focused on the delay of the video conference, and that might really, so maybe video conference is not the best tool for that. We might just want to stick with audio and then progress to video. Good, excellent points. Okay, so how about I switch it up to, what kind of another question maybe then is to say what kind of challenges when projects have the different cultures. So focusing not as much as the different countries, but different culture in general. So if it was Brazil or Mexico or other countries in South America, you have a lot more experience with them than I do. And then interacting with Canada and US, kind of that North American, South American cultures.
The first thing I see at this point is in the project management we have time project. We need to elaborate a schedule. What is the activities gonna do first, and what is gonna do in the middle, and when you're gonna finish with the time, and fix and try again. We have all the schedule separated by date, and that sounds totally different for you and for me, or for Carlos. When we speak about this, when you understand about following the deadline, have a deadline, we need to be very careful, because let's say in a project manager you say we're gonna have 10 days to finish, and for a Brazilian culture, we can do this different. We can accept 12 days, we can accept 15 days, and it's not wrong for us. It's just the different our culture, how you understand the deadline. Let's say if you make a meeting and we need to be there at 15 o'clock. For Brazilian, they're gonna come in 15:30, and everything is gonna be very okay. We have this accepted for a little late. For Canadian, they don't have. They're gonna be very rude if you do this, and this is a little different between the countries. For you follow the cultures. If you see our culture, if you go to Brazil and try to make some partner with me, we need to be very patient to fix some problem. Other different, let's say.
Actually, I might jump in even on that one too, Bruno, because that's an amazing. It is something about the Canadian American style of how definitive we are on time and date. I remember I consulted with one organization, and when we would have meetings, that door closed bang on right at that time. So if you were 1 minute late, you were not allowed into the meeting. And this was a meeting of, so that VP at the time was very focused on time for meetings and put that into the culture. And working with Mexicans and Brazilian, I don't think it's, and I don't think that you're saying that it's always about being late. It's just about managing expectations as to when they get there, what level of quality, for example. So what deliverable do we have at 10 days? We're going to have stuff done, but it may not be exactly that. So at 12 days, it's going to be this. So it's a bit more prolonged, is it I'm hearing? Or is it just nothing comes at 10 and 12? And also the whole point about meetings, I'm going to also assume your level of traffic and transportation is probably a little more unpredictable in the larger centers than, say, for example, smaller North American centers that you can still be good at predicting, okay, I'm going to be here at that time. Thoughts on that then?
All right. Let me think a little.
Because the whole point, I guess I kind of threw two questions together, is the one was, even though we're saying a deliverable is due at 10 days, and if the deliverable comes through at 12 days, it's really about expectations, and is it also about stuff still gets done, it's just a little bit more prolonged, or is it just a little, is the scope a little bit more flexible?
All right. We have a different cultures, not just the time, but if you say what do you think is a risk for you? The difference for the, let's say, in a risk in a project manager, we have some risks we need to accept. Late, time, price, people, and it's totally different between our cultures, because for you hide some people here in Brazil, or for you find some people here, it's more easy than in Canada, because let's say in Canada we have much less people than Brazil. Brazil, we are a very crowded country, and let's say I need to put some people in my team to work to make this work nice. I need to bring people to my project. It's more easy for I can find people there, and it's more cheap. Let's say in Canada we don't have a lot of people to do this work, and these people is already in some job. It's more hard for you find these people, and this is it's what is risk for me and what is risk for you. We need to be very be careful for when you say I'm gonna bring this risk for my project. This risk is totally different between our countries. We're gonna start. Go ahead.
That is that's an amazing point. Is maybe what you're also saying here too is risk in your culture is you are aware of that risk. You know that you're going to follow a project, and one of the main risks is going to be being late or missing or transportation. Yet in Canada, we have that risk, and we always have the projects where people are late. We always have the instances where our deadlines are extended and we're late on our deliverables also. But it's almost like a lot of the time in our project approaches, we think that we've managed them, so we don't think that they happen a lot to us. But realistically, they still happen a lot. It's just we're not as flexible, and it almost seems that maybe we're not as accepting on them. Maybe we could learn from that methodology, is that from Brazil, you seem to be a bit more flexible, almost like a rolling wave, a more dynamic, agile approach than us. The legacy way we do things so often is fixed and waterfall. So interesting is points. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Just a few more. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Will.
So yeah, continue on with what you were saying too about the risks. Being more, risks are aware. You're aware of the risks of the projects, yet people don't throw up their hands and say, oh my goodness, let's stop, let's not let them into the meeting. Whereas I've seen that happen in Canadian projects.
Oh, that depends the kind of project we are working, but we need to see what is the important for you, what is the important for me, my culture understand what is that we need to finish first than yours. And in the project manager, when you don't have a very nice organization, when you don't have the ability skill of project manager, you can fall on these points, because we have a lot of variable to work, and it's different between both countries, and we working together because we have totally different point of view. And when I have my risk, I'm very worried to fix this risk and make this happen very hard, and to work in one space with my teams to fix all these my risk. But in your point of view, this risk is not be more relevant than yours, or yours can be different. And we need to have a very nice conversation for can understand what is the point of risk. And when you have a project manager or a very good material for you work, for you follow in both countries and work together, that can be one deal, because we can understand the same thing of risk. Let's say every project manager is different. When you start to learn, you have the rules, but each one understands a different thing what they read. And when they read the same material, when they work at the same thing, the risk can be the same, can be the one way to work together, and it's more easy for they can done the job. Let me see one thing here.
But you know what, Bruno, because we're only about a minute away, I might have to cut you off, because I would love for you to keep on sharing your knowledge. And but we got to wrap up now in the minute. I just want to summarize and then let you close off with your thoughts that you can share to the audience. So what I'm hearing too is some great points about projects and business between different cultures and different countries. So number one, you were hitting right away to be sensitive of things that could really go wrong, like the A-OK versus no, this means zero. That's something we got to be aware and sensitive. Number two, you were mentioning about being a good leader is about good communication, good fluency in speech, and that is a key thing. And then you brought in by saying also be a good leader by example. Actions speak louder than words, and that will truly embrace and bring the teams together. And then we got into some other really neat things about understanding of risks. And because we have the different expectations and the different risks, we're going to have different priorities. So different cultures will understand the priorities different and then hence prioritize them different. So what is acceptable versus non, that's a whole nother thing that needs to probably have a bit more formality and be on the same page. That's wonderful, wonderful. And then we've also got about a couple points even with delays and understanding how to be a bit more agile and roll with things, because they happen in all cultures. So please wrap us up in the next 30 seconds with any final closing thoughts.
Oh, one very interesting, when you drive in your car here, and that's when I come to Canada, is my worst problem is stop sign. The stop sign for you, it's a stop sign. You need to stop your car and wait to see the roads and keep going. In Brazil, if you stop in a stop sign, the people behind you is going to crash you because they don't stop in the stop sign. It's a kind of well sign, you know, like you just look, pay attention. If no one there, you can go. You don't need really to stop. And it's different between the country. Like even just a drive is all the same, but how they drive, how they understand what is priority for me and for you is different, because a stop sign for you, it's a stop sign. You need really to stop. And in Brazil, stop sign is the sign when you just look, and if no one there, you can go. That's right.
Yes, and you know what, Bruno, thank you then. That is a great way to end it, because to me that makes a lot of sense. If there's no one there, why are we coming to a full stop? So maybe that approach is a lot more advanced in driving than this North American style. So again, thank you very much for taking part. Do you have a contact info? If anybody was looking for business or projects from our Canada or US, can they contact you at an email or website?
They can email at my website, is www.programinnovation.com.br, or using by Skype, it's Bruno Genova, it's an Italian name, and Prates. I can send the link for you after. And everyone have some questions, something to make this happen between these both countries, not easy, but we are here to help.
Thank you, thank you. And yes, and if anything, if you need Bruno's contact, you can always contact Brenda. She will directly connect you. So thank you again. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Bye-bye.